This is No Money, Mo Money, and after putting an end to a 1,000-year war, he thought to take a little break. But old threats create new problems, and now his path leads to war, through a storm of blood. We are back once again, and I've started recording this a little later than I ought to have. 7.4 came out, and I had to mess around with a bunch of features and settings and all this nonsense in order to get things sort of where I want them to be. 7.4 isn't going to mean much for the MSQ, because we can't play that, but there are a few things that it gives us that are of somewhat use to me, I suppose. One of the new things it's giving us is the control panel, which is sort of nice. It's a couple of extra tabs that you can slot different things into, basically, and use kind of the way that I use this panel over here. The problem is that the control panel isn't super useful for me. I mean, it's got some use. I can put a bunch of things in here and I can use them, whatever. But you can't keybind slots in the control panel, and a lot of what I use over here is actually keybound. Like my Peloton, my mount, my sprint are actually keybound, even though they're over here, so I can just hit the key and use them whenever I want. The control panel will be more useful for someone who sort of fills up their UI with a bunch of buttons. That kind of person. Like, if you have a bunch of stuff like this, where, like, you filled up whole areas of your screen with, like, here's all my classes, or another one that's like, here's all my emotes that I constantly use, just filling up whole chunks of my screen, then you can slot those into areas in your control panel, and then you can keybind at least opening and closing the control panel. So you can't keybind individual actions within the control panel, but you can at least keybind opening and closing it. So someone who does this kind of stuff to their UI will probably find more use of the control panel, but I've already set up like my own little control panel over here, which can toggle between two different settings, like one for combat and one for when I'm just running around the world. I can already keybind it. A bunch of the other stuff you might sit in the control panel, I already have my own like toggleable hotbars that I use, where I can like change over, here's my jobs, my tanks and healers, my melee classes, my ranged classes, right? Here's all of my professions, my gatherers and crafters. Here's like waymarks and signs, right? Here's like return intel. Like I have my own toggleable menus that I've created using hotbars and hotbar copy macros and stuff like that. So control panel is of like much less use to someone like me. The other one, of course, is the strategy board, which I'm not really getting pretty much any use out of at the moment, except of course for memes, which is the proper use of the strategy board, and the only use I'll probably get out of, actually no, I may get some real use out of the strategy board at some point, but as somebody who doesn't really do high-end raiding, I doubt I'll use the strategy board a whole lot. Of course, one of the biggest and most interesting changes, especially for me, is going to be the glamour update. Which, for those who don't know, with 7.4, they changed glamour to be class independent and level independent. Like, I have pieces of gear in here that are for pugilist, monk, or samurai. This is my gladiator, and it's level 60, and he's only level 32. So no longer are we limited by job or level when it comes to glamour. There's still a couple of restrictions. You can't glamour different weapons over. You're not going to glamour a warrior's axe over a gladiator's sword or something like that. And there's still some pieces that are gender locked to male or female. But for the most part, glamour's kind of free these days. No more class restrictions, no more level restrictions. So you can wear your favorite pieces with completely wrong jobs. Like, for instance, if I want to grab my scholar and make my scholar look like that. Yep, that's my scholar. Definitely. Oh, I really like the freedom that the new glamour system gives us. But that's most of the new stuff from 7.4 that I've been messing around with. Then I had to go into menus and change a bunch of settings and all that sort of nonsense just to make sure my game looked the way I wanted it to, and I got visual clutter that I didn't care about out of the way and all that sort of garbage. But, yeah, that with the downtime for the 7.4 update and messing around with settings and all that sort of stuff, I'm recording this a bit late, so instead of sitting around blathering even more than I already am, how about I go ahead and hop back into the MSQ, pick up the pieces of this horrible, horrible tragedy that we've had to suffer, and maybe unlock some new zones, shall I?
Don't you die on me, Ashola! Hold on!
Don't worry, it's going to be all right. Alphino, Master Kemp is all yours.
Understood.
Don't just stand there gawping. Hold her down while I work. The worst is past, but without the proper facilities, I can do no more.
Master Kemp too would be better served in the infirmary. Let us take them there without delay.
Give us a hand, would you, Lise?
Of course.
I know you must be exhausted, but there will be others who need our help. Leave these two to us and look to the other wounded.
So now I have to go actually aid the wounded, which is funny considering I walked away and left this place for like a week after everyone got injured. I don't think anyone's alive anymore, buddy, if they've been sitting out here for a week. Hi, Meffred, how you doing? Oh, dead. Okay, buddy. Yeah, Meffred was cool and all. He should have been me, not her. Yeah, I know. But, it was him. Well, time to pick up the pieces. Rhalgr's Reach is no longer safe. They know where we are, obviously. They could walk back in anytime they want, and there's nothing we could do to stop that. So they're going to evacuate everyone, basically, to Castrum Oriens. Here we go, abandoning the Reach. Yep, we lost a lot of side character. I mean, good people. We lost a lot of good people.
Were it not for the swift actions of the Scions and the Alliance, many more would have died. You risked your lives to save ours, and for that we thank you.
There is no need for thanks. We are allies, are we not?
Aye, just so. Let us not dwell on this tragedy, but look to the future.
The future? I'm sorry, General, but there is no future for us. We've lost too many. Gods, I can still see Meffred with that woman standing over him. They've ripped the heart out of us, General. They've broken us. Our fight is over.
If you're just gonna give up right now, then you're worthless. You're fighting for a cause. That's more important than, oh, they killed some of our people. Yeah, your people would hate you if you gave up the fight because of their deaths.
I'll always hate them with every fiber of my being. For what they took from us then and now. Our homeland, our freedom, our bloody children. It'd be easy to curse them and call them traitors. But they're our children. Our flesh and blood. If the only way to forge the future we want is to cut down our own, then...
Then what was it all for?
Mm-hmm. Like, if you're not willing to go the distance, then you shouldn't have started a resistance to begin with.
What will you say to the families of the fallen? To the mothers, and the widows, and the orphans? Will you tell them it was all for nothing?
Listen to the girl. We dare not suffer our comrades' sacrifices to have been in vain. Now is the time to steel our resolve and press on, painful though it may be.
And when Xenos comes back with his army, what then? This isn't the first time, you know.
Punch him in the
You'll be
freaking
hard-pressed
face.
to
That's
find
what
men
then.
brave or stupid enough to face him again.
I still can't believe how strong he was. He humiliated us back there. The Warrior of Light included.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
God help
Let's
us
not
if
just
he's next in
throw
line to the Guardian
around
throne.
insults like that, okay? He barely knocked me down, and he broke a sword doing it.
Loath though I am to say it, we should not be surprised. Before succeeding Van Baelsar in Alamigo, Xenos led the Imperial army to Doma, where he crushed the rebellion utterly. As a matter of fact, Doma remains in his charge to this day. Suffice it to say, Varus's heir is a peerless warrior and an accomplished general. The question is, how are we to contend with such a foe?
We fight. We just fight and fight and fight.
Come now, even you have your limits. But then...
Oh yeah, you
so
say
too
that.
must he. One
Only
legatus
because the
ruling two
MSQ
provinces a
forced
world
me
apart.
to
Yes,
lose that
divide and
fight.
conquer. We kindle the flames of revolution in Doma once more, thereby forcing Xenos to fight a war on two fronts.
Look, I'll not deny the plan as promised. And I feel for our brothers and sisters in Doma, truly I do. But I fear we lack the strength to see it through.
Also, I love that this expansion is just like, yeah, you kindled the flames of resistance in Alamigo and Doma, and then they're forced to fight on two fronts, but it's like, you do realize there's like 5 or 6 other places that we could kindle the flames of war if we really wanted to force the Empire to spread their forces out, right?
If you're going to Doma, I'm coming too. I want to help our friends there. And make sure nothing like this ever happens again.
I mean, there'll be a lot of suffering and loss yet to come in this war, girl. But sure, yeah, let's go to Doma.
Very well. For all you have done for us, we will fight on. But be swift, comrades. Alamigo has suffered enough.
Time for us to head off and find a boat to Doma. Is Merwin lending us our pick of the Crimson Fleet? No. We'll travel by sea, but we're using a pirate. Hi, Tataru. Hi, Carvalin. He's like, I see a lot of risk and negligible profit in aiding you. Cut to Tataru immediately blackmails him. I love Tataru. Many a poor unfortunate soul has come to grief out on those waves. Why, when we were in Ishgard, I heard the tragic tale of how the heir to House Durandare vanished at sea. Tataru. 20 years later, the poor count remains convinced that his son still lives and would pay a sultan's ransom for news of his whereabouts. Tataru is the best, and she just immediately blackmails the pirate into helping us. Can't deliver you to Doma itself, only take you as far as Kugane and Hingashi. Well, you know what? That is fine by me, because Kugane is one of the big hub areas of this expansion. So that's great. Rhalgr's Reach and Kugane are the 2 big hubs of this expansion. And now I will have access to both of them.
"12 be praised. Full sure was I that I had come too late."
Urianger,
Tell me you haven't come all this way just to see us off.
Nay, my lady. Ere you quit these shores for eastern climes, I wished to share some words of seeming import. Look ye where the sun doth rise. See crimson embers, darkening skies. Look ye where the sun doth fall. See azure lost amidst the squall.
Well, that sounds suitably foreboding. Another one of your prophecies, I presume?
Of far eastern origin, aye. It is mine earnest hope that this ancient wisdom may serve to guide you on your journey. For what dangers lie in wait for you upon those distant shores are yet beyond my knowing. I have more than words for you, my lady.
Yep, one last gift for Alize. It's time to really become a red mage, girl. No more flirting with being a red mage. Time to be one for real.
It's beautiful. Is it for me?
Though undeniably powerful, your ethereal blade taxeth you greatly in the wielding. Not so this rapier, which shall serve you just as well against all but the most formidable foe.
It feels as though it's attuned to my ether. I shall treasure it.
Honored guests, say your farewells, for the moment of our parting draws nigh. A fair wind blows, and I mean to follow it.
It would seem our ship is set to sail. Pray give my regards to Thancred and the others. And take care.
And we're off to Doma! Hi ho, a sailing we shall go. Off to Doma. But
Is it
first...
supposed to do that?
Not under normal circumstances.
Captain! You're needed on deck! Something queer's afoot. The winds died down, the waters went still, and all of a sudden, we were dragged off course.
Getting pulled off to a new dungeon. First dungeon of the new expansion. Here we go. Trying to get used to sort of the flow of Monk again. Like the basic playstyle of Monk I'm still pretty okay with. But remembering to use all of my skills and stuff, I need to get back into the flow of, because I haven't played Monk in a while. Huzzah! We've finally landed! Now let's go beat up some ghosts. I should pay a little bit of attention to Carvalin. I don't think about that because I'm a monk, not a healer, but monks also have mantra, so I should pay a little bit of attention to Carvalin's health. Because I can at least help Alphino out a little bit with the healing if I need to. Not that mantra heals, it just makes Alphino's healing better. Look, and in we go. Dance
away with
around
you
a bit here. I don't have a lot of positionals, but I do have a couple that I need to remember now that I'm playing melee. It's not too bad. The only two positionals I really need to remember is flank for this one and rear for this one.
Focus.
Come
Release!
on. Almost done. And bye-bye. And we've got some new gear behind you for the rear attack. And flank. See, they've really reduced the positionals. Even Monk only has 2 positionals. This one is on rear, and this one is on flank. And that's about it. Need to get in close enough that I'm hitting them with my AoEs without being stuck in the actual dots. Darn ghost ships. Time for you to get punched in the face, ghosts. Or skellies. Oh yeah, he actually had quite a bit more health than the rest of the skellies. Hello there, governor. Start with a dragon kick. Yeah, I was forgetting to do that. I need to start with formless fists so that or form shift, not formless fist. That's, perfect balance, form shift, whatever. I need to start with form shift so I can, like, open with a big hit like dragon kick.
Away with you!
Oh no, not a bunch of garbage that I don't care about. Just use True North there to deal with the positional problem. Yeah, just keeping up with the rotation is a little more involved than when I was playing healer, but I'm getting into the swing of it again. There we go. Bye-bye, governor. I slowed everyone. Since I have to open, if I just use arm's length as I rush in to fight, I could actually slow everyone down. Which is nice before Carvalhan can pull aggro. Not bad. I'm doing better damage. Now that I've sort of gotten back into the swing of the monk's rotation, I'm actually doing pretty good damage. Snag myself a little more treasure here. Oh, of course. I have like 4 pieces of gear out of this entire dungeon and I'm already pulling duplicates. It's so stupid. They should try to at least give you like gear that no one in your party already has or is already in the loot pool when you're pulling gear out of dungeons. It's so dumb that it does that. Alright, here we go. Mapping the realm and final boss fight. Hello, spooky plant ghost lady. Here comes the forced march. So, morbid advance. There it is. Let me make sure I'm facing away from the pools before she force marches me. Yeah, come on. Let me get in behind her here. Advance or retreat? Retreat, so I'm turning this way. No, you don't.
Away with you!
Well, being able
This
to
one's for
just
you,
gap
Ada.
close across when she drops a stupid AoE on top of me. Go ahead and use up the... It's not going to be enough to kill her, but it'll be good damage, and I better use it before we do advance and retreat. Advance, so I'm going this way. Nope, she's dead. Bye-bye. And finally, cleared away all the weird curse nonsense. Huzzah!
That appears to be the last of them. Word from the Misery. Repairs are complete, and we may resume our journey without further delay.
So we're finally off to Kugane!
I swear, if I never hear another ghost story, it will be too soon.
I remember the sea, the smell of the salt, and the crash of the waves as we drew closer to Kugane. The only port open to outsiders in Hingashi, across the Ruby Sea from Othard, from Doma. All the colors of the rainbow, all the peoples of the world, all in one place. I wish you could have seen it.